Drill, don't we? Good evening, Mr. Stone. My husband was just having his dinner.
The condemned man slurped a hearty meal. It'd make a lovely picture, considering with you around, he'd have to use very fast food.
Mr. Stone's a rather desperate man, darling. Well, all sorts of people are after him. He's even wanted for murder.
Which would explain the crazed look in these wild, bloodshot private eyes. The name William Lloyd Drexel ring a bell, Mr. Kingsley? West Virginia family. Mr. Drexel was in coal. Not personally, of course. He had a whole lot of strong, dirty men to bring it out of the ground for him. Like you, Mr. Drexel already had a foot, maybe even a foot and a half in the grave, especially after Mrs. Drexel promoted herself from his private nurse to his future widow. Before shoveling him back into the same ground he had dug his millions out of, his children threw him a little going-away autopsy. After finding a long, toxic buildup in the smorgasbord that used to be their father, they threatened murder charges, forcing their grieving stepmother to give up her share of the inheritance. Now, you weren't going to make the same mistake as Mrs. Kingsley you did as Mrs. Drexel, were you?
Not if I could help it, Mr. Stone.
This time, she was going to make sure there were no survivors. Only before she could deal with the issue of Peter and Mallory, there was the issue of Dr. Mandrill, who was beginning to pray a lot more for your wealth than for your health. How am I doing so far?
Very good, Mr. Stone. Very good indeed.
She arranged for your stepson, Peter, to kill Mandrill and set me up as the fall guy, knowing that the police would readily take me as a murder suspect. And just how were you going to do it? Were you going to arrange for this to have a head-on collision with a streetcar? Or were you just going to pull the plug on your married appliance here?
No, Mr. Stone. You unhooked the machine, and then you came at me and found a lost time shooting you in self-defense. I might have been able to get it started again.
And my motive?
You knew that when my husband found out you killed Mandrill and you were having an affair with Mallory, he'd have used his influence to put you in the gas chamber for a whole week running. Isn't that right, Luther?
You're going to kill him before Peter and Mallory are safely out of the way?
By now, Peter will have killed Mallory and be heading to the beach house to meet me. You've never seen it, Mr. Stone. It's quite grand. It's on both sides of the highway. A private tunnel takes you to the water, the old swimming hole my husband calls the Pacific. The road was built at the bottom of Kingsley Canyon. The road built to twist and twist so you can unwind on the way down. But not too much so. Each side drops off sharply a few hundred feet. So when Peter's brakes, or what he thinks are his brakes, give out, he'll never make it past the first turn, which should have been, well, just minutes ago. And now, Mr. Stone, if you'll turn him off, I believe it's time my husband turned in. One swift pull should do it.
You don't want the honor?
Oh, I'll forgo the pleasure for your fingerprints. Night-night, darling. Mr. Stone? Now, Mr. Stone! Oh, please! Peter? He was trying to kill Luther!
The same way he killed Mandrill?
I wasn't the only one set up, was I, kid?
She did it! I didn't have the courage. Thank God.
I do love a coward with pride.
Any more than I could do what she had in mind for Mallory. You knew exactly what Laura had in mind for my father when you had your secretary tell us to meet you, didn't you?
I knew if we all met up at one place, someone's tongue would come off its roll. Now, about disconnecting Mr. Kingsley.
She wasn't. We can do it together. The two of us. And then, you don't know how much there is. We've both gotten wrong deals out of life. Peter only had to tell me about you and that singer for me to know you took the blame for her.
Believe what you want. Your past and mine don't add up to the same future.
Don't make me use this.
That was the last thing that I had in mind.
Stone!
Three gunshots rang out. 3 gunshots divided by 2 people. Somebody figures tonight. You can count it one of your better days if that someone doesn't turn out to be you.
You can count it one of your better days if that someone doesn't turn out to be you. Where is he?
He's on set at a production meeting.
So much to do before he shoots a movie. Redesigning all the set designers' sets. Personally biting off the loose threads of the costume. Inventing the camera. Must kill him when the picture opens and someone else gets to butter their own popcorn. 3 shots ring out. It only took a second, but in that lifetime, Stone learned that 3 could in fact go into 2. What was wrong with that? Why did he change it?
She felt the telegraph that Allura had been shot as well as Stone.
If you wanted something else for a better reason than just wanting something else, I could have given him something else and a hell of a lot better than this. Why did he have to do it while I was in New York?
It was a big weekend for all of us.
Now, why the rush to have this scene? It's the last one in the picture.
If you shoot it first, it helps the budget.
He can't shoot this. It's full of holes. He has Mallory in it. I've written an earlier scene where Mallory is killed. I got Mallory dead. He bounces her back to life, and probably vice versa. Does he realize how many changes these changes require? Is it possible someone can write without knowing how to read? Wild, bloodshot, private eyes? That is atrocious. Am I supposed to run up and down the aisles in every movie house in the country yelling I didn't write that?
I thought it was clever, to be honest.
It's yours. It's your line.
I tried to make it sound like you.
It doesn't rub off. Sometimes not even on me.
If I hadn't helped, it would have made it a lot worse.
Helped? You would need a divining rod to find the word grateful in me. Where the heck is everybody when they first deliver the typing paper? Where are all these helpers when those boxes of silence come in blank? Both sides, no clues, no instructions on how to take just 26 letters and endlessly rearrange them to form a mirror of a part of our lives. Try it sometime. Try doing what I do before I do it.
You don't mind including her in your work?
Her involvement's aimed to getting me to be the best possible me. She doesn't want to be me herself. Hey, what's left? Any more little changes? Any more surprises? Stone going to be played by Benny Hutton?
You know what? No, tell him you wanted to see him.
Oh, wait. But in your own words, I'm sure they'll sound just like me, maybe even better. No, Donna, I really thought we meant something to each other.
Oh. Funny. Because I never got that impression.
Funny. How'd I fail to see this little bedtime tale was funny? I could cry to think of all the irony I've missed.